What's going on, Cancer? And welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here, and I hope you made it through that eclipse all right there, Cancer. But for those of you who are returning, I hope you're thriving through this eclipse energy, Cancer. So I like that better. But for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just stupendous, Cancer, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Harris has brought you here. We're in for an amazing journey. Now, the purpose of this channel, for those of you who have Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, wherever, Cancer, this one's for you. And I do tarot cards, but it's based off our ruler here, the good old moon. And I'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, when she's going void of courses, all those lunar shenanigans. And just so you know, I just realized Rhonda being this black obsidian moon, it makes her, she's like always in her new moon phase, always growing, Cancer. I love that. And just so y'all aware, this is a general reading, not a 1-to-1. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me. Never force a reading on a situation, and everything will be abundant, Cancer. Now, let's jump into it. All right, Cancer, your space has been cleansed. Crystals, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Cancer. And Cancer, happy Mars Day. Mars is associated with Tuesdays. It's a great day to get active, get out there and get some stuff done there. Cancer, get motivated, get the blood pumping. We're in Aries season, so every Mars Day, every Mars Day, especially when Mars gets here, it gets in Aries. I feel like every Tuesday should be a time where we really just be intentional with our energies there, Cancer. But really, we should always be intentional with our energies, Cancer. And that's something great to bring up too, because the moon's being very intentional with hers because she's going void of course today, Cancer. Love that, Luna. Now, the moon is going to be going void of course, Cancer, at about 4:08 p.m. and that will be Pacific time. And then she will be moving from the lovely Libra into the hypnotic Scorpio on Wednesday, the 27th at 2:02 a.m. And so we're looking at about a 9-hour and 54-minute void of course time there, Cancer. And the void of course energy is when the moon forms her final aspect with the celestial body, and then she doesn't have any more energies to exchange or any more conversations with the planet. So she just takes some time for her to just kind of see how she's processing the energies, because the moon is the fastest celestial body in our sky, and what the energy she takes on is a lot, and it varies from time to time, because when you go through these, when you, all we're seeing is the faces, and the phases of the different, when the moon is going through this energies, but we don't really see what's going on underneath, behind the moon, because she doesn't rotate. So I feel like that's a reminder, Cancer, to always just check, what's going on underneath the surface, beyond, what we're just kind of projecting out there to the world. And hold on, Cancer. Thank you, herself. But it's a great time to just kind of check in and see how you're doing, and I was thinking about this too, not even just from, the people that you're around, to the people that you're working with, to the people, this could be even to the stuff that you're watching on the internet there, Cancer. A lot of that stuff can bring up different emotions. This could be maybe nostalgic. It might keep you stuck in the past there, Cancer, or it could be a motivating thing as well. We're not demonizing the internet or anything, but it is being mindful of how even that type of energy can affect you as well there, Cancer. And we have a very rich inner life, wherever you have, and just being able to feel to the degree that we do, but especially, just having that Cancerian energy wherever you happen to have that. And so yeah, just something you want to be mindful of with these energies. And I feel like that's why, Saturn's going through, and he's getting ready to he's getting closer to retrograde time. I think he's entered his shadow not too long ago. I have to double check on that one. But Saturn's wanted us to be disciplined with this energy as well. But couple things with this energy too, Cancer, that you may notice that your plans may be subject to unexpected changes, that people may be less likely to make decisions during this time, and it may be a little tricky starting up things, but just something to just pay attention to. It's not that you can't, but just notice that if there's, pay attention to how you're feeling, again, always, but especially during this time with the void of course energy. And then Cancer, we're still in this full moon energy in Libra. And I feel this is kind of a nice energy to be in, being in a void, of course, to just kind of process what happened, Cancer. And what is happening. Because I feel, when we get around these kind of really big points, of course, things get hyped up. You see all type of stuff. And this is what I was talking even to, just to talk about the internet. Things could be like, oh my goodness, stay inside. It's eclipse season. And it's just like really, and most of the time people are going about every day. The eclipse is happening all the time. And nothing may be happening immediately. But I feel like this full moon in Libra is allowing the dust to settle, to really kind of see what's there, what are some things that did come up, what are some things that we thought would come up but didn't come up, and how do we feel about all of that, Cancer? And it's just like making, Libra energy is one that is not just more so about relationships. Libra energy is about being at peace with the chaos that is in the world sometimes there, Cancer. And it's like, I remember reading in this book Stephen Forrest wrote, that talks about Libra has this contract with chaos, with the universe, that it will remain unshook in the face of all the stuff that is happening. And that's where I feel right now the Libra energy is wanting us to kind of process this stuff in our mind. The air energy is intellectual, but Libra has a different approach than Gemini or Aquarius, of course. But there's this tact that Libra has, this fairness that's going in, that I feel like we can just really just kind of take this time and just make peace with whatever we need to make with. Maybe there were some things that were said, maybe there's some things we're thinking about saying, or maybe some things that we're keeping to ourselves. Just making some peace with this energy there, Cancer. And again, because where Venus is at, she's in Pisces, and she's exalted in Pisces. She's very strong in this energy. So I feel this full moon energy is very supportive in what is happening. Now that we've reached that peak, we're starting to get towards the waning end of things. And I like, when I'm talking about this stuff intellectually, I feel this is a nice energy to get the mind in alignment. Because when we move into Scorpio, I feel that there may still be some energies that could come up, some intense emotion but I feel that these could be emotions that we could they can integrate a little bit easier. Because when the moon moves in Scorpio, and I'll talk about this a little bit more tomorrow, but she's forming trines with your Cancer placements. And so there's a lot of supportive energy, I feel, going through this transition, through this full moon energy after this eclipse. And again, this is just allowing yourself just to kind of find your footing again in all of this. And just see where you're, just kind of monitor yourself emotionally, especially these next couple days. See what comes up and how you process the stuff going forward there, Cancer. And keep in mind too, there may have been some things that we're having trouble maybe coming to terms with or making peace with, because just even thinking about while we're talking about where the moon's at, being in Libra, she's forming square with your Cancer placements, which are tensions. So I think, I feel this are kind of checking in. While we're still in this energy, the full moon is kind of revealing, I feel like, any tension points that may not have been in your attention maybe initially with the eclipse, because there were so many, the energies may have been just real hyped up, but now we can really kind of tune in and see where things are needing to maybe be readjusted. So, yeah, just some things to meditate on there, Cancer. And if you're curious about how this energy is translating in your chart, this could be a great opportunity for you to book a reading with me. I have links down in the description box below. We can go over how the moon interacts with your personal natal chart, to maybe even getting into some sort of rituals and things as far as like working with moon intentions, writing intentions for the new moon, and working on things to release and to set free with the full moon there, to make space for, or talk about the planetary transits, talk about maybe you have maybe the moon in Libra and how maybe you were born on a full moon there, Cancer. Just so many things that can really kind of factor in to this stuff. So yeah, that's something that resonates with you, again. So definitely check that out. Again, it's all down in the description box and also on my Instagram page as well. And then last few things, these readings that I do, they're not gender specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations. And then the decks that I'm working with, I've included links to them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested, Cancer. But also down below some links for some other readers that I really enjoy watching their, Cancer, so definitely check them out. They're a really, really great group, very inspiring, I feel like, what they do with their stuff. So check that out. There are some links for some podcasts as well. There's a link for an astrologer and some astrology websites that I enjoy, and just a little apps and all types of things that Cancer. So definitely check that out when you get a moment. But let's go ahead and get into your general energy of the day here, Cancer. Well, I like this. You got the interesting Capricorn energy on the horizon, but you have the Cow Spirit card, Cancer, which is a card of the miracles are endless. Now, I do feel that there are a lot of, yeah, absolutely, the miracles are endless. But I feel that it is remembering that sometimes we have to look for those miracles, Cancer. That when we talk, I feel like when we hear readers say like, oh, abundance is coming, abundance this and this and that, it's here, Cancer. It's already here, and it's being in that it's easier to attract more of what you're wanting, because we appreciate the things that we do have. And then we can, because the miracles are endless, but with this 15th card energy, that is the Devil card energy. And that's where I do feel that there can be this remembering energies of excess. Because even this Cow Spirit is giving me, obviously Taurus vibes. I wonder why. But I feel that we have Jupiter and we still have Uranus, Saturn, Taurus. And we can maybe see where things that we've put values in, or where we may have invested in, or maybe gotten a little dipped into the lower expression of Taurus, where it's getting into that sort of hedonistic side, that overindulgence in things. I just feel like that is being mindful of how we're creating maybe even miracles as miracles, quote unquote miracles as well, there, Cancer. But I do feel like that there is this, when you are able to, I think the more you operate from a place of abundance, Cancer, then you're able to see, even in tougher times, you're able to see like, okay, that kind of sucked. Yeah, and you acknowledge it for what it is, Cancer. We're not ignoring these instances, but it's just like, how can I work with this? Okay, this space has been made, or maybe I need to make a little bit more, because yes, my miracles are endless, and I'm being inundated in miracles, and so I need to, like, in order to get fresh miracles in, I need to clear out some of these older things, that may be kind of clogging up, and whatever that may mean for you, Cancer. Maybe there. Let me get some tarot on this and get some details with this. Oh, interesting, Cancer. I love it. We're starting off strong. All right, Cancer. Thank you, higher self. So let me tell you what's going on here. So you have the Moon card in reverse, Cancer, Pisces energy, And then you have the Two of Swords, the King of Swords, the Nine of Stars, and then there we are, Cancer starting us off, the Chariot. But I want to kind of talk about this before we get into our energy there, Cancer. This Nine of Stars, you talk about being covered in abundance. Look at this hand just covered in stars. I feel like it's everything that you touch is abundant there, Cancer. And that's where the miracles are happening. Again, like it's, there's this moment where, especially when I got back to where I'm living now, I had missed this place so much, and I was going through this little forest here around the neighborhood, and just kind of just whispering abundance to the trees and things, and just being in the state of just like, what everything is where I need it to be. Everything feels on track. It may not be exactly as I'm manifesting, or like, could things be better? Of course, but where things are at now, things are on track, and that's where I feel like that this miracles are endless. I feel like as long as things feel on track for you, Cancer, the miracles feel endless, even when we're in times where we need to make some decisions. Sometimes we need to make hard decisions with this Two of Swords here. This is the moon in Libra, this Two of Swords. But I feel in braving in making those choices where we may not have been sure where things are. I don't want to put that with this moon. The reason I feel the miracles are endless is because we're willing to move forward here with the moon. There's this fear that even in the face of even like devil moments or whatever that's looking like that, we're still working on ourselves. And of course, this cow. I feel like, and when I talk about the devil's not a bad guy. He's there. The energy's not there to just keep us down. Funny enough, you would think the devil would be the scariest card, but the moon is considered the scariest card of the major arcana, which is something else, but I feel like it's just because the moon is that unknown, it's that uncertainty, but in facing that uncertainty and not giving in to giving our power, because the devil is where we give our power over to things, where we surrender our freedom. The devil doesn't take it from us. He just asks, like, do you want this? Do you? Oh, okay, well, I didn't have to try that hard. Or, oh, look at them. I got to try. You might be good this round. But when we realize that the point is growth, the point is wisdom, it's this understanding. Even when you fall, you can find miracles, and you find wisdom in that, Cancer. And the King of Swords is wisdom, is knowledge in action. It's because it is one thing to just learn something, Cancer, but keep it moving. But what are we taking from this as well, and how is that? I almost feel like how are you in that, how are these lessons being imprinted, even, Cancer? Are they making how we've been going about maybe even integrating this growth and things? Have they made the impact that we wanted, or how can we make the miracles? I almost feel like come a bit more, Cancer. But wow, so here's the devil, and I love that, Cancer, because the devil's in reverse. So this is fantastic. Oh, and there's Libra. I love all this energy here, Cancer. Hold on, let's see what's going on. You got a lot of majors cooking up and a lot of cardinal energy, Cancer. The cardinal signs, they're the initiators of the zodiac. Ooh, there's change. Oh, all right, Cancer. A lot going on here. Thank you, higher self. So we were just talking about Scorpio. So you have the Death card, the Devil, the Justice card, the Four of Wands, and the Three of Wands all in reverse here, Cancer. So, mixed bag here. Because let's start with the fact that you have all the water signs here, Cancer. We have Pisces, Scorpio, and then yourself, Cancer. Water energy is very intuitive. Water energy is very emotional. And there are miracles in the emotions, I feel that sometimes emotions can be, the sensitivity can be looked at as too much. And there is a thing, Cancer, where you can be overly stimulated, and overly sensitive. That I do feel is true, but I don't feel like being sensitive in itself is a weakness. That's just one thing that I'm kind of feeling here, that when it comes to, I feel like even the miracles, I feel like this is talking about the gifts that you have, the energies that you're working with. Every time I look at a different birth chart, there's just the possibilities are endless. What you can do with that, how people can work with their charts and the just, but that's one energy that's coming through there, Cancer, just with all that water that's coming through. This is a time I feel like to can really kind of see where maybe some things you can change, where you can get some blockages maybe moving. Maybe there's some unexplored parts here with this water, that's this very subjective kind of subconscious work that's going through here, Cancer. And that was where this, yeah, but that's one thing, Cancer. Now the next thing I feel is that with this, with the devil showing up here, we were talking about that. There's some things here that I feel as we get power over, or learn to use them as a way to motivate us towards greatness and towards our highest vibration. It's just like the devil is the reward for work well done, like really putting in the effort. Saturn, the sign that, or the planet that is the guardian over Capricorn, really does reward hard work and effort, and when you really are working towards being your authentic self, being who you want to be, and doing things that vibrate with you. This Justice card, I hear it, like it's like, for some, we may look at our situations as things aren't fair. Like my situation is tough. It is, and that's not diminishing that Cancer even a minute. But that is a what's the word I'm looking for? A testament to how tough you are. And I get it. Like there may be a lot that you're dealing with, and I feel with this, with this Libra energy, this full moon, I feel this can maybe even bring up some things that, maybe some energies or areas where we may feel in disharmony here. Because the Four of Wands is almost like a checkpoint card for me. Almost like seeing where we're just kind of at on the process. And I feel that there may even be some needs where we may need to talk about some stuff, where we may feel like we've been given a tough hand, but there's a purpose for that. When I think about my placements sometimes there, Cancer, I have, speaking of Capricorn, my sun in Cancer is opposed my Neptune in Capricorn, and it's real tight. It's like they're like within minutes of each other. And oppositions are tough. There are times where, and it was, it felt unfair for a long time. I felt a lot of ways for a long time. And I've worked on fixing relationships that I can, and there's some that I've just had to make peace with and learn to grow, to be better from, and learn where I was doing all right, where I was showing up, of course I was dealing with my stuff, but where I was taking on others' stuff too, and it's tough, Cancer, and it does it can suck, and it can all these things, but so many miracles can come from it too, because I found at my partner from this, and they're very supportive, and I got these where I feel like a real solid group of people around me. It's and that's even growing, and what that looks like. So it is a matter of perspective there, Cancer, and there are going to be things that that don't work out, that may break out, or whatever that's looking like. But that's just giving an opportunity for something else to fill in that space, because the miracles are endless. Absolutely. Empress is here, Venus. So absolutely, the miracles are in this there, Cancer. Let's get some advice from the lovely Empress. All right, Cancer. Take care of yourself. Last little bit here. Alright, Cancer, you have the Page of Stars, the Two of Moons, the Four of Swords, and the Tower, Mars energy in reverse. And then you have the King of Wands, upright, Cancer. And let's switch back over. Because I feel this Tower here, Cancer. And I know how this sounds, but I feel the Tower is this realization that comes where we see it, things that as life is happening for us and not to us. And I feel in that way we can initiate the change. You know, because I like that you got Mars here with Scorpio. You know, I feel like you've been getting like this death and like random. Like I think yesterday, we had Pluto and Scorpio. Now we have Mars, the traditional guardian, and Scorpio here. But I do feel that in order to make space for some new miracles here, Cancer, because I feel like maybe we've been feeling a little stuck with the Page of Pentacles. The pages are kind of fresh energy. I just feel that there's something here that we're... It's like there's almost like something that we're needing to meditate on here, Cancer, with the Four Swords being in reverse. We may be feeling anxious that there aren't... I don't know if this is that you feel that there are any, that, you know, the miracles aren't feeling endless, that you're feeling maybe a little out of sync. Maybe even I feel with the Two of Cups being here, you know, maybe we're at odds and maybe even be in a kind of a tough situation here, Cancer, where, you know, maybe things are changing, whatever that's looking like. But I feel the King of Wands here. This is interesting. He's giving me this energy of... It's like we're challenging, or like we're channeling the energies in a different way. The King of Wands for me is Sagittarius energy, and there's something that I feel like is needing to, that's maybe being experienced right now, that may not feel this, maybe not feel so great at the moment, but you know, this change, this death card that's happening, you know, but it's something devil in, I feel like in reverse, that you know that you kind of have to go through. We're going to have to do this thing, otherwise it's going to keep, I feel, weighing down with the Four of Swords. It's not going to, you can push it away for a while, but it's still going to keep coming up. And now I feel this King of Wands is, I feel like he's walking into a situation knowing that, like, you know, it's like how you may need to have some tough conversations, or where you may need to eat crow, Cancer, that feeling where, like, it's not saying that you're doing that, but that's what I feel the King of Wands is doing. He's stepping into a bit of discomfort. It's never ideal. But in order to come out a bit stronger, and there's a miracle in that, because they're going to get through this once the situation is done. It may not have felt, again, in that moment, not that great, but in the grand scheme, I don't know, Cancer, that's very, very fascinating here. But I do feel that there is an appreciation here. I feel for, and again, Cancer, I understand. But when it's a learning to appreciate the miracles, because everything is a miracle, Cancer. Even when we're going through a tough time, we're here to experience it. You know, we may not be here to experience it. That's the alternative. And who knows what that means? You know, like that, you know, who knows what that means? But I do feel like it's appreciating the miracles in the tough times and in the losses, because then in that way you're always abundant. And that, and again, it just helps you see from a higher perspective here. And it just, I feel like, prepares you. It gets you in where, as opposed to tower moments happen to you, there you're seeing them. It's just like, oh crap, like there's this, I'm usually around this energy. I'm feeling this way. What are some things I can do to get ready? It's eclipse season. I know eclipses affect me a lot more. Or, it's eclipse season. I usually do pretty well here. Like, maybe I'll keep some eye on some things. It's not too close to my points. Maybe I can breeze through this one. But it's very interesting, Cancer. But hopefully that makes sense. I'm going through a transit right now. Mercury squared my Neptune, and so it's been feeling like I'm trying to talk about these things, and it's like, is this coming out right? It's so strange. I'm like, it's like trying to like capture steam and freeze it. It's fascinating. But yeah, I hope that this has been making sense, Cancer. But I'm on the tail end of, so it's like where we're clearing up. But if any of that resonated with you, Cancer, if you like that, give it a thumbs up and share this thing, Cancer. If you know someone who's been maybe not seeing the miracles, maybe has been, maybe having trouble with the devil moments, whatever that might be looking like. But yeah, but just something to keep mindful of there, Cancer, because we are all so abundant. I just feel like sometimes we can forget that, especially with kind of how the society can be sometimes, and what equates to abundance. And subscribe there, you cow spirit. Hit that bell button. I like that. Maybe I'll start doing that, Cancer. I kind of like that. Hit that bell button. You get notified on all these. I'm going to refer to as animal spirits. Get notified on all these videos each day. And last little bit there, Cancer, after we get done checking your chart and maybe some aspects that are going on with you there, Cancer, because that makes a big deal. I was going through, my Mars opposition was a little kind of tougher there. Like I was kind of going through some stuff there, Cancer, but it's fine, as gracefully as we could. It was like, in my chart, Venus and Mars are conjunct one another, so usually when there's something going on with one, it's like, okay, like it's shortly there. It's like like, okay, it's gonna be maybe a lot that's going on, but for the most part, I feel like we got through it okay. But it's nice to have eyes on those things and be thinking about, like, oh, okay, energies might feel a little tense this week. How am I going to go about that? Maybe I'm going to get more sleep. Maybe I'm going to maybe it may add on an extra workout day. Maybe I'll get outside more. Like, that's how we work with the energies, and just see maybe what comes up in those frustrations, how we can fuel things differently. Why is there that dissonance? That's what astrology does. Astrology asks the questions, and then you paint the picture there, Cancer. It lays out the terrain for you, and it's like a map, and then it's like, and then we get to ask, which route do you want to take? It's exciting, Cancer. And then what else is exciting? Coming over to my other channel, Alchemist Date, where I talk about aspects that are going on more sort of like as a soul tribe, what we're feeling and how the planets are talking with one another. And that's more geared for a soul tribe. And then I do monthly ones that are geared towards the zodiac signs, and we talk about whenever the sun moves to a new sign, how the planets will interact with your placements and that energy. And then I do a yearly one, which is I call your solar return reading. So, and I release those each time the sun moves into like the minute to the minute, Cancer, when the sun moves into that sign. So, housekeeping is down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise card there, Cancer. Ooh, so I can get you out of here. And got the Page of Moons here, Cancer. And this Page of Moons, the Page of Moons is giving me this hopeful energy. Is it a little naive? Yeah. But it's sweet. There's this enthusiasm that's coming through here with the Page of Moons. I'm with this. I feel that it is. I feel like the Page of Moons is even giving this invitation of inviting a bit more kind of wonder into this journey of why these experiences kind of happen there, Cancer. Maybe even just sort of. I'm even getting this. I'm going to get your other oracle card here, Cancer. There's even something here about even like a looking up to the moon, Cancer. even just like the miracles of that. There's this thing what would you call it, a meme maybe? It wasn't really a meme, there was nothing funny about it, but it was more so this quote or whatever. And it was, I left, there's a picture of the full moon, and it's like I left the light on, and it's signed the universe. And the moon is just a miracle in herself, just especially being able to bask in that light, Cancer. And and Cancer, I love this. So speaking of miracles, you got the birth mysteries card here, Cancer. And this is a card of what are you being called to create. And actually, while we're talking about Scorpio energy there, I actually know someone who just someone their sun in Scorpio just had a little one. But this is, I feel like, what miracles are you bringing to the table there, Cancer? Because you are a reflection of Source. We're getting ready to. I'm so excited to talk about next week's energy on the weekly downloads, because Venus is going to be forming a conjunction with Neptune, her higher octave. It's going to be so beautiful. And I feel that this is really kind of getting in this really kind of tucked away in your safe space, Cancer, in your shell where your imagination roams free and you're just yourself. What are you being called to create? What miracles are manifesting inside of you? And what do you want to see born next? Where do we. I feel like even when we're talking about making space, this can be, it's not just like necessarily clearing out or throwing away stuff. This could be, I feel, something you've been keeping inside, Cancer, that is ready to come out. A miracle that's wanting to be celebrated amongst the soul tribe there, Cancer. So the miracles are endless if we're willing to create them and willing to appreciate them. And I love that, Cancer. I think I'm going to leave that there. So you stay safe out there with all these miracles about, Cancer. I love it. Stay safe. I would never want you to be assaulted with anything, Cancer, but miracles, maybe. That might be like one of the things. You keep eyes on the moon there, Cancer. That's a miracle. This whole experience, the fact that you're here, Cancer, right now, at this moment, watching this video, it's all a miracle. The fact that it happened. That's Scorpio mentality, but that's where I feel, just even thinking about that. This didn't come up during Scorpio, but while I'm talking about it, that's where Scorpio gets misunderstood, I feel, because it's in that realization. There's something morbid in that, like, being in this experience, yes, is a miracle that, we didn't get pummeled or the moon hasn't fallen out of the sky or anything like that. But in realizing that I'm in this miracle, how am I showing up? How am I bringing beautiful? How are you being beautiful, Cancer? Because look, you're so decorated in flowers, it's lovely. But what am I birthing? Am I living in, am I doing the things that feel in resonance with me? Do I feel in flow? So. And that's the gift, I feel like, as we're moving from Libra into Scorpio. It's understanding that first, and then it's actually feeling that and living that when we get in that moon and Scorpio energy, and really understanding the nuances in this zodiac, and how each planet comprehends its journey, and how it's all different and intricate. And I'll catch you, Cancer. I can get into this all day. On the next one tomorrow.